By the end of this video, you'll be able to make a simple minimap with icons that works with any game. Let's get started. For the sake of the tutorial, I set up a simple scene with a character controller that can move around and rotate. Of course, the system we're about to make could be implemented in any other setup. Let's start by adding a raw image component where we will display our minimap texture. Add a new minimap camera and set it very high up and tilted by 90 degrees on the x-axis. Set the projection to orthographic. Set the size as you see fit. I'll set it to 15. Now let's display what the camera sees on our minimap image. Create a new render texture. Set its size to our Minimap's image size. For my case is 300 by 300. Set the target texture of our camera to our new render texture and also put it in the texture of our raw image. Now we have a minimap that displays what our camera sees but doesn't follow the player. Let's fix this by creating a new script. I'll call it Minimap camera. Inside the script editor, add a reference to our player transform, add a late update method. We use this particular method to ensure that we are only updating our camera's position after the player's movement. Inside, set our transform.position to a new vector 3 that takes our player's position.x, transform.position.y, and player's position.z. And if you'd like to make the camera rotate with the player, which what most games do, simply set our transform.rotation to quaternion.euler 90 degrees, player Euler angles.y, and 0. Back to the editor, let's add our script to the camera and set our player reference, and like that we have a working minimap. Now let's add a simple border. Add an empty parent, I'll call it minimap border, add an image component, let's anchor it to the top right corner or whatever you want, let's center our minimap, and let's increase the width and height of the border. To make our minimap circular, give our border image a circle sprite, add a mask component to it, let's rename the object to mask now that it's not a border anymore, and let's make our minimap display bigger so that it fits the whole shape. And to add a circular border, it's basically the same work as earlier. You add an empty parent, add an image component, correct the anchor points of our border, center the mask, assign the circle sprite here, and increase the width and height. Now let's add icons to our minimap. Let's say for example we want a triangle icon above our player. Simply add a 2D sprite triangle. Here you can set any sprite you want. Let's set it to be above our player and tilted by 90 degrees on the x-axis. Add a new layer for the icons, I'll call it icon, and make sure to assign our object to it. Let's also add a new layer for our player of the object you want the icon to represent, and again assign our player to it. Now in our minimap camera, remove the player layer from the calling mask, and in our main camera, remove the icon layer from the calling mask. Now let's make the icon follow the player. Add a new script, I'll call it minimap icon, and the logic here is basically the same as our minimap camera follow script. So let's copy it from there and paste it here. Let's change the player transform variable to something like target so that it makes more sense. Back to the editor, let's add the script to the icon and reference our player here. And just like that, you can add any icon you'd like to the world. As you can see, we have a working minimap system complete with icons and borders, and you can easily implement this system to any game you want. It's up to your imagination. Special thanks to all my patrons that are helping this channel grow. And if you want to support my work and get access to the project files of my tutorials, the link is in the description.